It's the end of the 5th century in Europe, and the Western Roman Empire has all but fallen. The barbarians ravaged its borderlands for decades, and Pannonia, once a prosperous Roman province, is now in ruin. The migration period will last a while longer in this region, leaving it in a state of constant upheaval for the next couple of centuries. However, with the arrival of the Slavic and Avar tribes in the 6th and 7th centuries, things will slowly begin to settle down. They will mix with the local population, putting down roots and setting the framework for the creation of their identity and future homeland. With the migration period coming to an end and a dose of stability provided by the newfound Avar Khaganate, settlements in the region will once again get a chance to grow. Last time we'll learn about the prehistoric settlement on Gradec hill and recognize the role it had in defining the location of our future city. In this episode, we'll do the same with the early Slavic settlement, which will mark the beginning of continuous habitation in Zagreb's urban core after more than 1,000 years. So let's jump right into the next chapter of the story of Zagreb. Throughout history, new settlements emerged on the locations of previous ones for countless reasons, ranging from political and economic to symbolic and religious ones. In our case, the early Slavs probably realized the strategic potential of the prehistoric location, an easily defendable high point flanked by a couple of streams, and settled on the same spot. We don't know when exactly the newcomers settled on the Gradec hill, because there's little archaeological evidence left from the migration period. However, we do know that the settlement existed in the 7th century, as remains of a fortification dating back to 679 were found at the location. It was a 6-meter wide structure made of wooden logs dug into the ground, with half logs placed horizontally on the outer sides. The new fortification system probably included defensive towers and a walkable rampart, which significantly improved the settlement's defensive capabilities. Let's get to the structure of the settlement as well. According to their tradition, these early Slavs most likely built rectangular wooden sunken houses, anywhere between 4 and 20 square meters in size. They were organized in a circular fashion around the settlement center, which was used for various communal purposes. The buildings were often grouped in residential and productive areas, showing signs of higher tribal organization than in previous periods. The tribal chief's house was the largest building in the settlement. It probably had one big room where the chief resided along with some of his warriors and handled the daily tribal business. There could be a small temple in the settlement as well, which would have been a bit more elaborate than other buildings. The workshops were probably somewhere at the edge of the settlement, with faster access to raw materials. The rest were just common dwellings, most of them big enough to hold only one nuclear family each. Just like in prehistory, our inhabitants were still mostly herdsmen, farmers, and gatherers. However, their agriculture was more sophisticated, and they could grow more food with better quality. They also had more advanced smithing and woodworking techniques, making it possible to build more complex structures, tools, and weapons. The Gradec settlement will endure for the next couple of centuries. but it will most likely stay within its fortifications. As the population increases, however, a new settlement will emerge in another part of what we today consider Zagreb's urban core, the neighboring capital hill. The capital settlement will grow rapidly over the next few centuries, while the one on Gradec will gradually lose significance. At the end of the 8th century, the political landscape of the region will change dramatically. The Croats will establish themselves as the dominant Slavic tribe in the region and form the first Croatian duchies. They will help Charlemagne bring down the Avars and pledge allegiance to the Frankish Empire as vassals, accepting Christianity as their new faith. In the next chapter of our story, we'll see the capital settlement taking a leading role in Zagreb's urban development and become a religious and administrative center of the region. During that period, our Gradec fort will survive only as a stronghold, and maybe even be abandoned at one point. Nevertheless, the capital settlement will continue to thrive, securing the continuity of habitation in Zagreb's urban core for the next few centuries. So if you like the way we explore urban history, please consider subscribing to this channel. And if you enjoyed this video, press that like button. Also, if you think this knowledge is worth sharing, please share this video as well, as it will help the channel immensely. Like always, leave your comments and suggestions down below, and follow the channel on social networks to see updates and info about the next episodes of the Story of Zagreb. Until then, play curiously, and I'll see you soon.